Fans were shocked by the unexpected deaths of main characters in the Season 4 finale of The Boys, setting the stage for a dark and intense Season 5. Butcher's transformation into a powerful soup leads to brutal killings, showing his descent into darkness and abandonment of morals. The loss of key allies leaves the boys vulnerable, paving the way for dangerous consequences in the upcoming season. The Boys ended its fourth and penultimate season with the expected death and destruction. One character for whom fans thought death was imminent did more than just survive. But most shocking was the death of another main character and a supporting character, neither of which fans saw coming. What's more, the manner of their deaths combined with who was responsible in each case threw fans for a loop. These murders were inextricably connected, with the first significant death leading to a decision that would bring a tragic and gruesome end to the second character's life. Who is the first person to die in the finale of The Boys Season 4? Throughout the season, Billy Butcher, Carl Urban, struggles to reconcile what to do. He had an angel on one shoulder in the form of his deceased wife, Becca, Chantel Van Santen. The devil on the other shoulder was his old war comrade Joe Kessler, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who turned out to be a hallucination, a manifestation of Butcher's darkest thoughts. While Becca kept pulling Butcher to focus on protecting Ryan, Cameron Crovetti, and getting him away from Homelander, Anthony Starr, Kessler wanted Butcher to do whatever was necessary to put an end to Soup power. In his eyes, this meant either training Ryan to take down Homelander or eliminating the powerful Soup Boy before he became a bigger threat. Unable to bring himself to do the latter, Butcher staged a coup along with Grace Mallory, Layla Robbins, his old CIA comrade and founding member of The Boys. She was responsible for keeping Becca and Ryan hidden and caring for them while they remained living in protection. If anyone could get through to Ryan, it would be his loving and protective Aunt Grace. They brought Ryan to a hospital room under the guise of talking to Butcher, who was supposedly on his deathbed. While Butcher wanted to ease Ryan into a discussion about Homelander and what they needed him to do, Grace took a more direct approach. She felt the clock was ticking, and there was no beating around the bush. She tried to reveal harsh truths to Ryan, most notably that Homelander was never in a relationship with Becca but that he raped her. She painted Ryan's dear dad as a cold-blooded murderer and awful person, and Ryan simply wasn't ready to hear it and certainly couldn't accept it. When Ryan figured out what they wanted him to do, he was furious. He could never hurt his father, the only real family he had left. Grace begged and pleaded with him, implying she would do what needed to be done, including threatening to trap him in a room with 6-foot walls that would prevent him from using his powers. As Ryan grew more furious and as Grace's hand neared the button to stop Ryan from making the wrong decision, he blasted her against a wall, killing her instantly. The look he gave to Butcher as he walked out of the room showed that there had been a major shift in Ryan. Homelander is getting to him, and he's truly his father's son. The death no one saw coming in The Boys Season 4 finale. These events led to the most shocking death that no one saw coming, and no, it wasn't the major character some fans thought would be killed off. After conversing with Homelander, who opened Victoria Newman's, Claudia Dummett, eyes to the fact that she was nothing more than a puppet, she decided she needed to run. Robert Singer, Jim Beaver, was out, caught on tape admitting that he wanted Neuman dead. She had no power left and just wanted to protect her daughter, and he was out of the world of politics for good. She called her one true ally, Huey, Jack Quaid, and asked to join them. She would help them if they agreed to help her disappear with her daughter when all was said and done. As a show of faith, she would tell him the location of her daughter Zoe, Olivia Morandin, so he could get her, proving she meant no harm. She met them in the warehouse to discuss. The others were wary of her, keeping a dose of the virus locked and ready to go if needed. But Victoria seemed sincere. She had truly had enough. That didn't matter because Butcher walked in and revealed the truth about himself. While he had taken Compound V as he earlier admitted to Huey, it didn't make his symptoms worse as he told him. In fact, it turned him into a soup, and a pretty powerful one at that. Large snake-like creatures emerged from his chest, spilling around the room. No one could get near them. When one was taken down, another reared its head like an ugly, lethal octopus. Even Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara, looked reluctant to fight. Butcher wrapped them around Victoria, flung her into the air, and ripped her body in two, leaving her lifeless on the ground. "Your King welcome," he smirked to the group as they looked on, horrified. It's clear that Kessler has taken over, and there's no more Mr. Nice Guy for Butcher. The angel on his shoulder has officially left the building. What these deaths mean for Season 5 of The Boys. These two deaths are crucial to the plot for the final 5th season. Without Mallory, Butcher has no one to talk him out of things he wants to do, or at least the approach he wants to take to get them done. He won't listen to the boys, as he made clear with this diabolical move. And he may very well be out to eliminate Ryan, believing that, at this point, there's no hope for the boy. In the final scene of the season, he's happily driving somewhere while holding a vial with 1 dose of the virus. His intention is clearly to administer this to someone, likely Homelander or even Ryan. If the virus isn't strong enough to take out Homelander, it might be able to take out Ryan. Without Ryan, Homelander could have effectively fallen apart. Victoria's death, meanwhile, will weigh heavily on Huey, who had grown to develop a close friendship with her. Without her as the liaison for the Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs, the boys are no longer in as powerful a position as they were. Meanwhile, if the CIA no longer possesses the power it once did, thanks to sweeping changes made by new President Calhoun, David Andrews, there may no longer be a viable reason holding Homelander back from eliminating the boys. The boys are in a precarious position with 2 powerful allies eliminated, Homelander with newfound power, and a plan in action to round up Starlight supporters and remove these dangerous individuals from society. Even Butcher may very well be considered a villain now. Meanwhile, Ryan, who might have been harmless before, becomes a real threat as he sinks deeper into Homelander's influence and loses sight of his former self. With Zoe now orphaned and sent to Red River, she may blame the others for her mother's gruesome death. Stan Edgar, Giancarlo Esposito, who Victoria helped escape from prison before her death, could be looking for vengeance for the death of his adopted daughter as well. When he discovers Butcher is behind it, he'll stop at nothing to eliminate him. Whatever the case, the death of Neuman, who had gone from a head-popping, power-hungry villain to a vulnerable, apologetic ally, was completely unexpected. Fans were sad to see her go but were intrigued to discover how her death plays into the final story in Season 5. Stream The Boys on Prime Video.